What's going on, everyone? It's your boy. It is December 31st, 2020. We've made it through this whole year, and this is the last Tommy Reed's X-Men of the year. Don't worry, I ain't going nowhere. 26 weeks, I brought you my own view to skew, or a skewed view of reading X-Men. Stuff I enjoy, stuff I find weird, and this is going to be no different. So we're kicking it off like we always do. X-Men number 26 from November 1966, written by Roy Thomas, again, with art by Warner Roth. This one is called Holocaust. Now, we bring you up to speed because this is a two-parter. Go back to issue number 25 to check out my review of that one. But Papa Chuck brings us up to speed. Using Cerebro, he tells us everything that we need to know from the last issue, basically, which is basically El Tigre is a guy who gets an amulet together, and like the Enchantress from the Suicide Squad, he gets possessed like this, like, oh, possession, and he becomes a god, and he has godlike powers. He easily takes out the X-Men, and it's down to Cyclops to stop him. It does not go well for Cyclops, let me tell you that for free. Cyclops gets easily knocked out, and then his henchmen, doing what henchmen gonna do, turn on him for the second time. They did it last issue, and this time they're like, let's get the whole amulet this time, because, I mean, he easily defeated him last time. What makes them think they had a chance this time? I don't know. But No Country for Old Men, and the guy who looked like the Tapatio guy, go back to last issue where I showed you proof that I was not lying about that horrible stereotype. Get dealt with pretty easily. Tapatio guys even like, ay caramba, very El Barto-esque ay caramba, before they are knocked out and easily dealt with. And that is it for the henchmen. They were not great henchmen as far as henchmen go, but, I mean, henchmen gonna do what henchmen gonna do. Take a drink every time I said henchmen there. You're welcome. El Tigre somehow, they kind of yada yada over this, but his powers are harnessed by the power of the sun. Even though, one, he broke into the museum at night. Two, there was no natural sunlight in those amulets when he started using his power. But hey, reasons, the sun. I'll go with it. Sure. So he decides to build a solar sphere, which is big yellow ball that he's traveling in. He goes back to where he lives in Central America. Now, Stan Lee gets his little editor note a little cheeky with this. Like, he tells you, like, straight up, oh, there is some science behind this solar sphere, but you gotta be a Mayan god to be able to harness it. So, for us mortals, or y'all mortals, I'm a demigod, and you can't drive it. Which is basically like a tongue-in-cheek way of saying, I know this is stupid, but let's just go on this ride together. Iceman, back at the museum, Iceman, who, mind you, was knocked out because he was tripped in a very Looney Tunes-esque tripwire, and he kind of and fell and knocked out, wakes up, and then Papa Chuck, does his boop boop, and he's like, get up, damn it! Basically, he's like, wake up! Wake everyone else up. He's like, oh, all right. And then get back to the school. Now, in the meantime, he calls Gene in college, and he's like, hello, college? Yeah, I'll hold. Oh, by the way, it's Papa Chuck. No. Oh, I still gotta hold? All right. And then he hangs up, and Gene. And she's like, And then he's like, basically, get over here. We need your help with something. Before she can do that, she runs into our boy Ted, the square peg in the round, I don't know, the other guy in the love triangle. Love square? Anyway, the dude who hangs out with Gene in college and taking her out and stuff like that, he walks in with an old friend of his who is Calvin Rankin, a.k.a. the Mimic. Now, the Mimic meets Gene, and in Gene's bloop bloop, her mind bubble, she's like, oh, snap! It's the Mimic, the guy who, like, kidnapped me and stuff. And then he's like, she seems kind of familiar. Now, mind you, if you remember, way back in X-Men number 19, go check out that issue that I reviewed that. Maybe I'll put it up here in a link. I don't know how to do that. What were you expecting? Come on. I will one day. Maybe in the 2021. But anyway, Gene's like, worried that he'll recognize her. He doesn't recognize her. And then in our little Stanley edit bubble, he's like, That's because Papa Chuck done mind-wiped him back in X-Men 19. Y'all remember that, right? And so Jean leaves the school. We get that weird cameo. And Jean leaves the school and decides to go back to the X-Mansion. And they're like, Jeannie! And except for Scott, he was kind of like rattled around in the fight because he was the last one to kind of come to his senses after he got knocked out. And Jean's like, oh my God, Scott, are you okay? And she gives Professor X these books, these from college, some college books. And he basically goes, and then Speeds reads them. Even Beast is like, what the hell? And suddenly he knows everything there is to know about this amulet. And he's able to tell him where to go look for it. And X-Men, let's get in the jet. Jean, peace out. Enjoy your studies. And then they take off in the X-Jet after El Tigre. Now, while they're traveling there, Scott decides, finally, he's going to tell Jean how he feels about her. Because she seemed a little concerned about him, so maybe there's a chance. We don't know. We do know, but we don't know. And so then we get to El Tigre again. And he decides, like all villains, what do I need first? World domination? No. Competent henchmen? They'll come with time. No, I need to build me a lair. If you saw the X-Men Apocalypse movie, that's all Apocalypse did. Like, his mutant power was redecorated. Like, he just redecorated like a bunch of I don't really know. It was so bad. It's not great. Anyway, this is no different. El Tigre decides to build a temple, and then in the middle he builds this idol that is harnessing the power of the sun, like almost like a battery charger. So in case he needs a little juice, little pick-me-up, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I can go over here, get some watts, like it's Pokemon Sword and Shield, and, I'll use my watts to get fit. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, so the X-Men and Professor X show up. Now, Papa Chuck went along for the ride, but when it came time to do the mission, he's like, all right, well, good luck. I'm too valuable to get hurt. I'm Papa Chuck, you ain't. Remember? That's the premise of this story. I am Papa Chuck and you ain't. So he's basically like, all right, good luck with the mission. I'm going to be here at the hotel. Oh, there's free HBO? Continental breakfast? Y'all do you. And so the X-Men take off in a canoe down the river to go to the temple, to go find El Tigre. Now, on this Jungle Cruise-esque, like, mission that they're on, they fight a random jaguar who jumps from a tree, and then Angel picks him up and literally throws him like a baseball. Why didn't you just, stun him or something and then put him on the side of the river? No, he tosses him like a baseball across the jungle. That jaguar dead. They fight alligators. They fight a giant snake. They run into rocks on their canoe, so their canoe's gone. Like, there's all this stuff that is just filler. For what? Like, why do I want to see the X-Men shooting the chutes and going down the rapids and whatever? And he's like, sharp rocks, bring it on. No, I want to see them battle El Tigre. So all that's filler. Then they get easily caught by the minions, because what happened was when he was building the temple, somehow that hypnotized the people in the towns around where the temple was coming up, in the middle of the jungle. Like, there was a panel where they're like, oh, what's that? I feel drawn to it. And then they go, and, okay, the townsfolk, they were just regular people. They had shirts, mustaches, beards, long hair, whatever. But when the X-Men are easily caught, by their trap, which is basically just a pit in the ground. They pulled, if you ever seen Heavyweights, it's the same thing they trapped, Tony Perkis, with just a hole in the ground that he ran over, and then he fell in a pit. The X-Men, being trained that they are, decide, we're easily going to get out of this, so Iceman covers the ice with a dome so they can't see what they're doing, and then an optic blast to burrow themselves up another side of the, and they dig, and then they go up right behind the minions or whatever. But here's the weird thing. Here's the thing that I found odd, which is probably another word for weird. The minions, all of a sudden, even though they had mustaches, beards, regular clothes on, were dressed like if you've seen a Mayan painting or something like that. Like, they had freaking bones in their hair, and they were clean shaven all of a sudden, and they were just in loincloths. Now, what was El Tigre thinking? Like, we need to have a uniform if y'all gonna be minions for me. So I like a clean shaven person, so it looks neater, and then we won't have the people on our backs about health code violations in case we open a restaurant. You know, that kind of crap. I don't know what he was thinking. It just seemed really stereotypical that these people had to dress like this, like they got rid of their clothes and all of a sudden they're in, you know, old school loincloths and with spears and I don't know, man. That just didn't sit right with me. Anyway, that's a number of problems that we're having with, like, the way the stereotypes, the way they look and stuff like that. So finally, in the last 5 pages, we get the X-Men versus El Tigre. And it don't go well for the X-Men. Nope. Beast, first one knocked out. Always. Always first one knocked out. He's the first one to run his mouth, think he's better than everyone. And he's the first one to catch the, you know, the 2-piece from El Tigre. X-Men don't do well. In the battle, Cyclops accidentally blasts. Accidentally, we'll get to that. Perhaps, Angel gets hit with an optic blast. He's knocked out. He's actually pretty hurt. Cyclops said he didn't hold back because he was trying to hit El Tigre. And he takes Angel down. So it's down to, like, Iceman, Cyclops, maybe Beast is coming back around. Jean's not even with them. She's at study hall. Papa Chuck is enjoying HBO. He's rewatching The Sopranos. And he hopes it's better the second time around. Actually, it was pretty good the first time around. I haven't seen that in, like, 15 years. Anyway, so I don't know where that joke was going. Anyway, so take another shot every time I say anyway. Anyway, the X-Men are fighting. It's not going well for him. And then El Tigre kind of blasts, like shoots a laser from his hand like he's the Emperor. And he's like, ugh, and then it hits the idol thing that he was charging his power with. That sinks into the ground. He loses his godlike power. It's easy for the X-Men to stop him then. And that's it. And that's it. Like, so, in this issue, the X-Men travel there. They razz an alligator. They beat the crap out of a jaguar. They don't do well against the actual bad guy they were supposed to fight, and he messes his own self up. And somehow that's a W for the X-Men? Nah. If anything, that's maybe a tie. But, you know, I don't know. So Angel's coming to, he's coming back around, and he's like, Cyclops hit me for real. He's mad. He was pissed. He's like, Cyclops hit me on purpose because he knows I like Jean, and I know he likes Jean, and it's going to be a thing. And then that was the end of the issue. We leave him on kind of a cliffhanger, and then Cyclops was like, Beast and Iceman are kind of quiet. Do they suspect like I did it for real? Because I didn't mean to do that. End of issue. Final thoughts. This was a 4 out of 10. Number 1, good things. Let's get the good things first. We mildly advanced the Scott and Jean storyline. I know it's a big part of X-Men lore, and this is the ground floor of it. So it's good to see that ball slowly a-rolling. 2, there's dissension in the X-Men, which should bring some intrigue and drama. 3, this is the stuff I didn't like. So I guess we're starting back at 1. So 1, the X-Men didn't win. El Tigre beat himself. Okay? That's not in the win column for you guys. And 2, these past 2 issues have been borderline racist for the brown man, of which I am. And I did not like it. You know, they're wearing sombreros all the time. They're looking very stereotypical, and it was not great. So, spoiler, next issue we get to see more of the Mimic. So we got rid of this storyline, thank God. It was not great. It's been 2 weeks of rough reads. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Anyway, if you like what you're seeing, like and subscribe down here. Hit that notification bell that's somewhere in the corners there. We've got a lot of great things on the channel. If this is your first time watching, thank you for checking us out. And Come back if you like movie reviews, if you like food reviews, if you like comic book reviews. This is the channel for you. Stick with it. It can only get better, and I think we're doing all right so far. Thank you for watching me in 2020. This, like a lot of YouTube channels, was born out of the pandemic, being stuck at home and thinking, people don't want to hear what I say, right? They might be interested. I don't know. Anyway, hopefully you are. And we're going to keep going in 2021. I really enjoyed putting together this channel. It's been really fun. It's been a good distraction, good way to be creative. And I'm going to keep reading X-Men because I love comic books. See you next week, January 2021. Can you believe it? We've come a long, long way together through the hard times and the